We now have our finalists, right?
Yeah, we have OrderMaster and New Carpet. No, we have
OrderMaster's lists.
Yes, indeed. We have just seen some of them, but not all of them. And the beauty of finals will be we're gonna have to see them all, because this is we've changed the rules compared to the semifinals, and our finalists will now have to win with all of their decks. I don't know the coins right now, or the master. When Matt is back, he will check. But while he's not here, I'll tell you a little bit about the decks you'll bring in. Well, you know them, I would hope, but maybe the chat doesn't. So we will have the Devotion Symbiosis, just like we've seen right now. A little tricky with the board space, obviously, but nothing that OrderMaster can't handle. It's an awkward 8-net, everything that you ever dreamed of when you think about Symbiosis. We then also got to see the Battle Trends, which heavily relies on the Dracoturtle Caretroll the combo with multiple ways, with proccing in multiple times with Grim. Also one of the mid decks, because OrderMaster is only bringing those. Actually, New Carpet is bringing one of the memes, which I'm really excited for. But back to OrderMaster. Yeah. So Geddy as well, some droids, obviously Mushra for bringing in the other Crow-Crime Preacher, possibly creating a pretty scary engine combo, because they can grow so tall so quickly. And the last but not least is the Monsters deck. We actually got to see this one as well. This one wants to create Self-Eaters through Operator. It is also bringing Necromancer Tome, and most importantly wants to have the Melevro pretty stacked to then use Triss.
Makes sense.
There we go, you're back. Welcome back.
I am indeed just at the right time for us to take a look at the lists we have yet to see.
Do we have the points?
The coin flip, yes. Let me just go and check while we have a look at those. If I come back into the bracket, add us in. Oh yes, I do. OrderMaster is on blue coin.
Yeah, OrderMaster on blue. Okay.
Yeah.
And so Nick Wilson is New Carpet, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, this is the Gwent names that we've gone with on this.
Yeah. So are we gonna call them Carpet or Nick?
Yes. I'll just stick with the name that's there. So I'm just gonna say Nick. It's easiest.
Okay, Nick's easiest. So we have the beautiful meme monsters deck. Care to tell us a little bit about it, or you gonna go one by one?
I'll go one by one first. We'll start off with the Patricidal Fury Skellige deck. It is, well, you've seen it, you know it, you've faced it. It is all about those Highland Warlords and the raid cards. It is honestly a pretty strong list across when you think about it. This one probably just snuck in as a very strong contender of a deck that is right on the border of being a little bit better than mid, I would say. But
I think we're trying to be nice compared to the meme, you know?
That might be true, actually, yes. It might well be because the meme is a balance, but you know how this works, and it has got some non-meta choices in there as well. Just the one Feral Bond, and plenty of removal for Nick in this list. I think it's one that he's going to be a little bit more confident with than the Monsters deck. And I love this Monsters deck. It is, of course, the meme that made it to the final. It is Tatterwing Monsters.
Ooh, very cool.
Yes. So, it's Tatterwing, if you don't know, becomes a 25-point immune unit and reduces all other units in the deck to be worth 1 power, effectively. They damages them down, though. So, something like a Maddock, well, once you click it, it's going to be back at 3. Sunset Warriors starts at 1 and will gain value. Morwood grows all the way through. Geralt is removal anyway. Vivian Oriole boost. You can see what the kind of plan is. So it is a Maddock destruction deck, but it also has a few other choices. It can have great tempo, frustrating removal, and Nick his lineup is quite an aggressive one when you look at it. That removal from the Patricidal Fury, all of the bombs from this Overwhelming Hunger Maddock list, and the third list, one of my favorites in the entire tournament, it's Enslave 5 Shoop. Oh my word, Shoop! There is, Sangreal is in here. You have got Milton, the little bits of Beauclair just sticking around. It is a little bit more mid-range, but does have power and options. There is a Jan Calvate in there as well that you have probably a 10% chance to miss because it's Enslave 5, especially on red coin. It's going to be curious to see where he tries to take this, and it is quite a fun deck. That Master of Puppets could end up being very decisive if it sticks and can't be beaten. We do have a great situation. This is going to be a lot of fun for everybody concerned, to be honest. I'm really hyped about this.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
As we know, OrderMaster goes on blue coin to start things off. So let's go straight in with no further ado. We haven't even had a chance to guess what they're going to bring yet.
Oh,
you know
true.
What? That doesn't matter. They're going to show us, and it's that monster match.
Wow. So meme versus myth. Here
Let's
we go.
And interesting here, trying to get this monster deck through early, the meme one. It's also very control heavy, and I think that will serve very well because the opposite is true. For OrderMaster, he's having to rely on engine value and trying to stick things on the board. Yeah. Nick might not have a lot of actual value himself, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. And equally, Nick can kind of then stop thinking about the meme, have it already, you know, and go with the mids only. I had another thought that I completely forgot, so never mind.
I'm sure it will return.
Oh, no, I got it. Nick was saying that obviously he is the winner moral-wise because he's the only one with a meme. And I support that.
Maybe. I think he's gold, but also his 2 of his 3 decks are stronger than 2 of 3 of anyone else's. So it's I think it's a balance we see here. As OrderMaster has dropped his leader ability, he's just trying to work out what is he giving for it. Worrying, an interesting choice. Is he concerned about the pred dive? I would say potentially yes. He's trying to play around that.
Could be. Let's see. Oh, we're having another raid. I'm just gonna.
Excellent. Well, welcome everyone. If you welcome them in as I go through this, we see the Maddock coming out, and no real way for OrderMaster to respond directly to that. A difficult spot for him to be in, but has opened up for OrderMaster the chance now to do exactly that. Have some protection against the hypothetical pred dive. As we see, going to be a lot of attempts to thin, to push, to play those Maddock and those bombs on red coin, be super aggressive, and deny the possibility, the setup here. Try and make sure that not too much sticks on the board for OrderMaster, that these Witch Apprentices never find the Sabbath they're looking for.
Yes.
50-50. Oh, that's it's a big 50-50 ends up everything hitting the Griffin, so now both units do stick. Are we going to see something slow like a Megascope here? Another turn that's a little bit awkward?
Yeah. Okay. And meanwhile, looking at Nick's hand, it's actually looking pretty good for what kind of deck this is, right?
Yes, it's pretty great for him. He has a lot of removal, a lot of access. Doesn't have too many points himself. That's the biggest problem he's going to face. There isn't a big spot where he can do what he needs. OrderMaster side, what we didn't see previously when he tried to win with this deck, he never managed to get. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So we finally get to see it. Meanwhile, Nick is just putting down some frost. I think he's mostly trying to maximize the Sunset Wonder value, right? Based on the position.
Makes sense. It's one of the few point sources that he has, effectively, early on. Of course, the whole idea of this is you trying to find your Tatterwing to grow for as many points as you can with other points as well, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of now when I think about it, I'm surprised a deck like this doesn't run Ring of Favors just to have that kind of big boom.
Yeah, and it's something that you could run in a list like this. The problem
Yeah.
is you might not have anything on the board to play it on,
True.
and you don't necessarily go so deep into
Yeah,
this
yeah,
as
yeah.
we. But OrderMaster sticking units and just trying to keep going, trying to just stay ahead here effectively with a far enough reach. But this is going to be a really nice. That's a lot of points there, and for the first time in forever, Maddock jumps onto the right row.
I was just about to say, what happened to Maddock that it's actually doing what's supposed to do?
Yeah, they changed the coding clearly, but this is probably a good pass, if I'm being honest. This could be a useful pass here for OrderMaster. He's just about able to take a pass here, and I don't think he's in a spot where he wants to play much further. He might not, because he can, of course, develop the Gankaien here for another 9, 10 points. But it gets a little risky as you see that Sunset Wanderer hit, and he's not going to want to lose on even. So I'm curious to see what line he takes here.
Yeah. I'm surprised how well Nick has done, honestly. That was a really good combination of playing it well and also drawing really well with what he was given, right?
Very much so, and he's not taking any chances. He's just saying, I'm in. I'm here for this. Let's go. Respect it. He's going to hit, of course. Yeah, makes a lot of sense, and was hoping to remove this. Is he going to succeed? Or is it going to dodge? Leader charges as well, just for that extra few points to get ahead. And of course it gets hit.
Ooh, wow. The meme luck comes true, you know. It's an invisible buff, but it's definitely there.
Oh, it's a meaningful buff. But not locked in. This is just a nice little 10 points. Doing well indeed. And yeah, of course the fight here, Tatterwing is Igni fodder. So you have to keep control. Nick now in a spot where he could probably play the Arcane Tome in order to get even more value from another bomb, which makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Seems valuable. This is very nice as well. It's good damage.
Indeed,
Here, and the Maddock does jump out onto the wrong row. But once again, now OrderMaster can potentially pass until the Sunset Wanderers jumps out.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's gonna change quite a lot, because that is a lot of points for Nick to suddenly have on board.
It is.
And it's not enough for Igni. So
it's not enough. You're right. But these also don't activate. No Sabbath. Does have Naglfar and Royal Decree available in the deck.
If
but the
he
Naglfar's
clicks
terrible.
the tome.
If he clicks tome. And I think a few turns ago was probably the pass at 5 cards for OrderMaster. He really wants this round so that he can access a good Igni in this matchup, but it's really difficult for him here now. Giving that tome back is risky.
Yeah. And the Sabbath boys, you could drop one and give the tome back. That's what's gonna happen, yeah.
I think he has to take Decree here instead. What's he gonna go for? Is he gonna Incubus? No, just plays for the points.
And now he's ahead and has the Sabbath value, so that is more difficult for Nick to catch on. But equally, Nick still has access to another bomb because Sunset Wanderers brought that one, and could as well click the tome again and say, well, thanks, I'll, play it again.
Knows potentially clicking the tome only gives Naglfar. It's an open decklist situation, so if he has the time, he can look at this and say, well, actually, I know your choices are terrible from this tome. I'm going to click and force you to give me one of those bad gold cards.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. So just keep giving me the stuff.
Yeah.
So I know you don't have the things to catch on, because you already were desperate enough to play the Sabbath Witcher Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Show me more, as we see the Devil's Puffball sat there frantically, and it is what he chooses.
Wow, interesting.
Very interesting. Gets the death blow.
Threatens a little more, saying, maybe I have it, maybe I don't.
Uses the leader too to get himself back ahead again, but OrderMaster now going to be able to just drop this down, force another card, Big decisions right now. The heat wave, probably worth more a little later. Morvud definitely worth more later, but gives the Morvud here. Just getting ahead. Locks Nick in, locks OrderMaster in perfectly, and he has to go away. The Igni, not active. Really well played.
No. Well played. Well played. Good round 1. So, does Nick want a long round or no?
No. No, he wants to insist on having last say, so it could well be in his benefit to do that, because he's going to get double last say if he passes here. The problem is, he needs to find that. The Tatterwing is 25 points. He already has last say, so now the question is it worth him pushing here? I would say probably yes, but... Oh, no, he has not just put that on the board.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I can't...
Oh, no.
I can't watch this, man.
Oh, no.
When is it over?
Okay, so now... That's really rough there. The pass there, based on the hand he got, was on, and I think that was the play. It could still be, but that really was what he was looking for. I don't think he's going to have enough points here to fight now. The draw there's pretty disappointing as well, honestly. Although, it's going to grab a Fiend from the Pred Dive. Yeah. Yes, and he didn't. We even missed the Fruit there, and the Fruit protecting from the Pred Dive. That is very unfortunate here. A really, really tough spot for Nick.
Yeah, OrderMaster just played that as quickly as possible. It was like, Igni time, you know, I gotta do this fast.
So, options still available. He's using the Pred Dive, just trying to get as much value as possible. But the decision here, with what's left, he can obviously Heat Wave the tallest card, but he won't do that. Vivian Oriole could be a lot of value. Osril is playing for 12, and Geralt might not find any value at all. Does manage to bleed a lot out here. That does matter. So...
and the Fruit would not have counted as leaders, don't count as orders, if I'm correct?
No, they do. Leaders are order abilities, but he could have used it after the fact.
True,
but there's no benefit to doing that, right? But yes, this is... So this could have been very different in that sense. This could have gone a completely different way. Now it's looking like it's going to be pretty scary there for Nick to be able to answer. Mulligans away that poison. Has found his choice options, honestly. And I think this is the hand he holds. He is hoping to find some... Actually, no, because he... Oh, it was a 50-50. Vivbird is at the bottom of the deck.
Nice.
So, but the perfect hand. The perfect hand right now.
Nearly
on
got
the bottom here.
Okay.
Oh, big choice. Throws away the Necromancer's Tome. Naglfar now guaranteeing Morvud instead.
Yeah.
But Morvud's a risk, because it opens up the Geralt of Rivia.
A very nice Geralt target, yeah.
And I honestly think it was more points to keep.
Is the self-meter the heat wave? Because I think it is, because then you're denying lots of Triss points as well, possibly.
Well, honestly, yeah, because I suppose the reason he's thrown it away is because he knows the heat wave exists and he thinks the tome's going to get heat waved. But yeah, you might, if he'd heat waved it straight away, possibly.
Yeah, because then you're limiting. Yeah. Oh. I think that could have been the way to go, but yeah, it's what it is.
So many points here.
Yeah.
So many points available.
A lot. Yeah, and see now, obviously the self-eaters grow, and now it's more difficult to deal with it than before.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see the Morvud now, so that is the Geralt value.
Yeah, so that will come and go. Of course, the Morvud will buff plenty. It's not just 17. This is playing for 20 here, I believe. Yeah, because it does the 3 of those. And while Geralt will come out and clean one of them up, I just don't think it's going to be enough. And the Triss is going to clean it off. This could have gone very differently. And I think Yes, not or hoping the Igni wasn't there, just didn't end up working. Holding that for last say could have been a very different game, as we see game 1 here.
Wait. Oh, but Osriel 17, but that's not enough.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a lot of points. It's closer
It's a lot
than
of
it looks.
points, yeah.
It is, but OrderMaster
Takes it home.
does indeed, and
Okay.
OrderMaster is through with that list. I'm
My only
betting on
worry-
Skellige.
Could be. Because if I was Nick, I would like to get the meme through, so I know I can get it through and then play the other decks. But you were right, it's the Skellige. Oh, no.
No,
It's
I was
Skellige
wrong.
for
It's the
the master.
Nilfgaard.
It's the Nilfgaard, it's the Shub Enslave.
Oh, on blue, he brings Shoop Enslave. To be fair, this Enslave 5 Shoop list is good on blue coin. It has enough proactive plays, and he's drawn remarkably well. Calvate just sat there chilling, but already has Unicorn and Chironex. That is a skillful set of draws.
Nice. Very skilled, yeah. Okay. So OrderMaster also drawing pretty well. The Maxi is nice. Druid goes there.
Is he looking to open with Bomblin? He might have to, actually. Unless he Calvates turn 1. Yeah, Calvate turn 1. He's looking through. No, he plays the Bomblin. Says there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
I dare you, you know. Take my
As it
Bomblin
turns
if you
out,
can.
he really doesn't have a great deal of proactivity in this list. But he's got the Calvate, and he knows there's no worry about a Vilgeforce or something like that, so he's not in the worst spot, right?
Yep.
He's not in the worst spot. As we see, OrderMaster didn't see the order there as he clicked straight away. I'm guessing that means he's either very happy or very not.
That was really quick, yeah. That was like, oh my god. Click away. We'll see.
Blink,
Calvate
and you'll
comes
miss
down.
it.
Makes sense. So what can OrderMaster do? Because that Bomblin is quite betting there.
It is, if he puts bronzes on the board. Thing is, he kind of has to. He's
That's
more
the
like
thing.
he could try and just put the Crow Clan Druid down onto the board, which we saw him do previously, to have a Druid there. It's a 0-point switch and takes away your agency. I don't know if Nick would click that, and then he can play the Crows the turn after if it gets stolen, and if not, he can play something else knowing he, in turn, has access to the Bomblin.
Right.
But no, just plays a Mardrum for now,
see.
trying not to give anything.
Okay, yeah. So Maxi gets boosted again.
Yeah.
Both of them kind of taking it slow, just testing the waters, be like, what do you have, what do you not have, you know? Makes sense.
Nick, as soon as it comes round to Nick's turn, he is playing that card and just going, nope, that's it. I'm going to put the pressure back on you. But at the moment, it's an awkward situation for Nick. He doesn't want to give the Siri, because you want to use that in a round where your opponent can't really go away. As a result, it's also slow tempo-wise, has no bronze targets at all for the Obsidian Mirror or for the Slave Driver, and Sangreal has better choices later on. Wow, OrderMaster takes the lack that he loses 2 points on those crows in order to give himself... Okay. The round is going to be in and done. I would be surprised if it wasn't Clo Clan Druid and Click, and that is exactly what we're going to see. Makes sense to me.
So OrderMaster 1 card down. Not a horrible situation, right? But we also know exactly what Nick is drawing because of Jan.
Completely so. Perfect hand potentially here. And bleeding into a perfect hand is both good and bad. You know you're trading up, but the risk comes with it that as a result you never keep your card and you end up in a tough spot. Mulligans away the Sangreal instead of the Slave Driver here. Interesting. The Nulziger Sergeant is the only Nulziger Sergeant and is on. Can probably grab one from Vigo based on the structure of the deck.
So meanwhile, OrderMaster hand is looking less gold. That makes sense. Oh, the read is a surprising mulligan.
Not
we
a
missed
great
a
hand.
lot. Yeah,
He's managed to miss Axel, Anero, Fakusha, Kertrold, and Geddy. But he's in the choice spot. He controls how long this goes, so it's not too terrible for him.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we see the Rune Mage. Makes sense, because that's just preparing a better ship for yourself later, a better vehicle, all of these things, right?
Yes, very much so. Makes a good deal of sense. Even finds the lock there off the Rune Mage, which will feel very good for him. He'll be very happy with that. Are we going to see the Purify committed here, or is this just going to be set up? Feels like it's just set up and potentially OrderMaster looking to pass here.
It looks like it, because, like we said, so many cards were missed that normally you would use to push.
Yes. And he could then think, I'll trade up. But the cards he's missed are so vital. The Caretrolled not having access to that's really bad. Obviously, Geddy's amazing for the tempo of a push, and it can be challenging. Does guarantee, of course, after that Rune Mage that he can find exactly what he wants. It's always going to be the Nausicaa Sergeant, not only because it's the most points, but it also opens up that Slave Driver. Big choice for OrderMaster here. The long round against an opponent with everything they want, guaranteed, is not ideal. But can you keep your coin here with this hand?
I don't know.
Or rather, keep your card, keep your card effectively. I'm not sure you can.
Well, you mean as OrderMaster? Because
OrderMaster,
yeah, I think OrderMaster needs to leave now to stay at 10. He's never gaining the card.
No. And there's a possibility, if he's going to play, he's playing the Mushy Truffle. That's the next card of choice. He plays the Mushy Truffle and tries to establish these as engines without Geddy. But he doesn't even really have any access to alchemy cards, so... Yeah. I would say he's got to go.
And he does, yeah.
It's awkward, because you really don't want to be going into a long round 3 against this list, especially when it still has leader and has given you the square root of 0, but his hand is just not suitable for a push.
Let's see if that hand gets any better now. So it's Fukusha's there.
Fukusha's there, but still missing a lot of those key cards.
Yeah, because then you're keeping something like Dwim, but you don't really have a good target for it, right?
Yeah.
So those two mulligans
it's
better
okay
come
to
through.
Keep it on Mushy Truffle. You don't hate doing that. The question, I think this Crowclan Druid has to go. I don't think that's the value now. Removes the lock. Finds Axel.
Oh, okay.
And gets Caretrolled. Okay. Has done all right. Yeah.
Indeed. So we see the other... Wait.
Oh, boy. Okay.
For a second, I was like, what? By just Nilfgaard being Nilfgaard again, I see, yeah. Never mind.
Of course. Nilfgaard being Nilfgaard. Did you play a card? It's our card now.
You like your engines? It's our engines now. We have engines.
Definitely. You know? Nilfgaard regularly is asking the question, how old were you when you realized the Y in your card is silent? You know, it's a big moment.
Oh. Let's go.
So
Let's see
the Fukusha here to remove this could be the play and give yourself a funeral boat for a prolonged period of time. And maximum value on the rain. Instead, is just going to set up protection. Mushy himself. Missed the Anero, missed the Geddy as well.
Nice.
Not ideal for OrderMaster here. But is 1-0 up.
True. So that is true. And this deck can do well against the other decks that Nick is bringing, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah. Makes sense.
Are we now going to see the removal here? Perhaps playing the Unicorn Chironex? I think so. Denying those engines can be really helpful. Obsidian Mirror is the draw. Not too many good choices available, especially when you just removed the best one. This could end up being reasonably valueless, but we'll see.
I feel like Obsidian Mirror is always very situational.
Yeah, it's either amazing or terrible, right?
Against Nilfgaard, it can be amazing, because then you're getting your own things back. But against other, it can be really tough.
Well, lots of cards have deploy abilities and aren't engines as they play. If you grab 3 engines, you're laughing. But because you're spawning 1 power versions of the cards, if it's just either a deployability or a point slam card, of course it falls flat, right? As we see now, OrderMaster's just trying to get a foothold in this game. He's thinking to himself, how do I survive this? And he puts down the Draco Turtle. Now, we could see that disappear very quickly with something like Vilgefortz. But if Nick's sensible, he'll hold off on that. He'll just play his own game, build his own engines, because he can burn it whenever he wants. And the later he burns it, the harder it is to get value, bringing it back. We know, of course, Sigdrifer's right's been missed, but Nick does not know that.
Yep. I was thinking we could see something like Axel, so we have some order value for the Druid Girl as well, because we kind of need to have that around. We could also just see Sigwald coming down to start preparing that, right?
That is a possibility.
Or the other location.
Heathrold is a good choice. It depends on what it's going to choose to bring back from this Fukusha. Because the amount of rain, he's going to want to start getting value for that soon if he intends to play it for one of the cards in the graveyard now and not later as a combo to protect one of them. I think he's going to do it now.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably the right call over the course of the game. Gets himself another engine. Does he protect? He does.
He does, yeah.
And I don't blame him on that front.
There we go.
The Fukusha there, 12 points of rain, brings this back for 4 and is for herself. That's not too bad. 20 points and an engine spawned effectively. I think that's. I think they'll be quite happy with the value there.
But it's an awkward matchup, right? It feels very slow. It feels like very. I don't know what you're doing, so I'm not gonna do anything either. That's just how it feels this time around.
It can be really awkward for the. Especially for the Skellige player. It's not the best matchup because your opponent has lots of answers and you can't really pose questions as a result. That's where it gets difficult.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So, and then we have things like Grimace that don't really get a value here at all. No,
there's not a huge amount of value in the Grimace.
So you could just float him and see if it gets removed, but yeah.
I'm a little surprised that when the Draco Turtle was just left on the board, it wasn't. Oh, it's Enslave 5. Never mind. Keep forgetting that Enslave can possibly be something other than 6. That's in my head. Enslave is always 6 now.
Oh.
The joys of the Deck Roulette, my friends. But it's not. No, that's right.
Yeah, we get to see new things. That's really good.
Imagine new things. That's great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab something from my throat really quickly.
Yeah, go, that's
it's
fine.
Killing me as well.
I get it. So, deep into this extra round here, you can see from above the chair that is accompanying me that OrderMaster is 1-0 up right now, but in a difficult spot. Not unwinnable, but awkward nonetheless. 4 turns of rain left, and Siri getting ready to betray OrderMaster, as you'd expect. I'm thinking OrderMaster's probably going to Crow Clan Druid now. Try and get some value here, and potentially pull back the Mardrum onto this Draco Turtle. Certainly something I would be considering in this moment. But you know this is always playing into a Vilgefortz. You know the Vilgefortz exists. It's something you're going to be concerned about. Instead, he decides just to set up the Sigvold for that sort of double threat, so he can spread those points. I can see the rationale.
Makes sense, yeah.
And moves the Siri back himself, not waiting any longer. Huge point swing. False Siri. The rework to False Siri feels really great. That pairing now that Buhurt exists. Love to see it, honestly. I think it's absolutely great.
Okay. Just trying to quickly swallow my...
I get it.
The Conflu is real, Chad?
Conflu is real. Conflu is definitely real. You've always got to be careful of it post an event. No question there. We're both struggling with that, so apologies that our voices are a little croakier. Plays the Redare front row. The lock here onto the Gremist. So has locked the Gremist, meaning there's obviously the removal of 1. Interesting. And big thing, Nick mulliganed Sangreal away. Could have had that Sangreal and played the Ciri combo later, mulliganed it away earlier on, expecting perhaps to be pushed. Didn't get pushed and didn't find it again.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be
What
curious.
is Nick bringing here? OrderMaster, sorry.
Bloodthirst is available, and because the Bloodthirst is there, the On-Crate Warrior could be the way. He will be aware that Obsidian Mirror might exist. So we see the Care Troll drop down. Greatsword is the most points.
Yeah, and also not so good for Mirror, I guess.
But it's an amazing... you see, that was risky. It was there was a tiny chance, tiny chance, of course, well, 1 in 4, that the rain hit the armor. This could have grown to 6. It didn't. And
now he has been
Hunter
stolen.
is the perfect pick for Nick because he has the answer to that Care Troll and manages to deal with it. He's ahead by a lot of points here. But do not write this off yet. There are a lot of points left for OrderMaster between his leader ability and whichever of these he ends up using.
Yeah. There's a lot of points in the Sigwald and the Draco Turtle, indeed, yeah.
A lot. Vilgefortz can only get rid of one of them. He'll pull something out in return. Not a great deal of good choices. But these two aren't terrible. This is points. Twin Viandra's just Misk. So those are okay.
But also not that much time left before Vilgefortz needs to choose.
Yes, very much so. And I think he wants to play that as his last card. He wants to try to force OrderMaster to commit some value first, but he's not going to. Instead, we're going to get the buff. A lot of, so much value on that.
Oh, yeah,
Three of these engines here.
Nilfgaard doing better, druiding than Skellige this time.
Indeed they are, and he should hold this. He should not play.
Yeah.
He doesn't. So now the decision comes for Nick. Which one are you burning? I think it has to be the Draco Turtle, but Siggy is scary too.
That's it. It is the Draco Turtle.
Okay,
and
but gives bonded.
It brings back the only really useful engine right now. So let's see what OrderMaster does about this. So we see the
OrderMaster
Mandrome
potentially has triple Mardrome here onto this.
Yeah.
This is going to be so close.
Okay, another one. Mush Truffle as well.
I think he does it.
Okay, Druid Girl brings another Mandrome. Hits Sigwald again. Oh my god! Druids are so underrated. It's this kind of Skellige. Look at it.
Wow! And you know what? If it's a 1 in 4 that this pulls out, and if anything else pulls out, he doesn't get out there.
It would not have been enough, yeah.
No, because he got 8 more points.
No, it would not. Yeah, exactly.
He would have got
That's
8
what
more
made
points.
the difference.
Wow.
Wow. There's a charity tournament happening next weekend that has a cash prize as well. So if you're looking to earn a little bit of weekend money, that's the way. And we are in.
And Nick trying to get his name on the board here. He is saying, I'm bringing the Skellige list, and this Skellige list is a powerhouse in this matchup. Lots of removal, lots of control against engines effectively. Typically speaking, if control can keep those engines under wraps, it does pretty well.
And a nice hand for OrderMaster though, Start with Awkward, a little bit of Symbiosis engines, a lock. That's good. This is looking okay.
It is, but on the other side, one of the least talented draws ever has not manually drawn any Highland Warlords. Does, of course, have the Blood Eagle to find one of them, but... Now, are you going to protect this? Is Dunka getting the protection she is to prevent her from dying? Because, of course, otherwise...
she otherwise dies.
So she takes the Blood Eagle, and you just start building up your own strategy. Always going to be the Highland Warlord here. It's about getting the extra value from those raid cards and removing when you can. It can...
Highland Warlord.
No, that's right.
Because last time we renamed it like 5 times. It was High Lord, Violent.
High Lord, yeah, it's the High
Higher.
Lord Wardrobe, that's the one, yeah. High Lord Wardrobe here, looking fantastic, great artwork on that wardrobe.
To Narnia.
Yeah, exact casting's difficult, all right? It's Skellige, Narnia's definitely there. As OrderMaster now, is he going to drop the Alquen knowing it's just going to get removed for effectively its carryover value? It's a possibility, but he could also just be trying to bait out more removal. No, he just goes for it and says, I'm happy. Yeah.
Protects it a little by the leader, obviously trying to get as much value as they can from Nick.
And he just manages to keep it out of range as well. And let's see if that's going to get him where he wants, though.
Imagine things surviving against Skellige, you know, that's rare.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. No, the Stunning Blow doesn't exist in this deck list, though. So he knew that the single ping, unless leader charges were going to drop, was correct. And it's a bit early to commit those leader charges in this deck. You can use them too flippantly and then not have removal when it comes to it. Because Bloodthirst is going to be super hard to come by for Nick. He's going to need to save those leader charges for that. Yep.
So what is OrderMaster looking to do? It could be, you know, the Symbiosis Dryad. That's not a bad option. I'm still happy to see this card being played more because it used to be so misc.
This one, the Dryad Enchantress?
Yeah, the Enchantress, yeah.
Well, it took the ability off one of the dwarves, didn't it? And it fits a lot more for the Dryad. Yeah. The armor still feels weird, but...
No, but it makes sense with the picture, at least, because she's fixing the helmet for people. So lore-wise, the ability actually fits really well.
Well, I suppose that works. Now, we can see the Sorceress of Dol Blathanna is on the board, but because the Primal Savagery can only hit a 3, it's not going to be there to kill it and won't spawn. The Gutting Slash would, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it come down now. But is that going to be the choice, or do you Vabiorn to thin a little bit more instead and grab something that way? These are the things that he's going to be considering. I think the extra tempo and the thinning is probably more helpful.
Yeah. So maybe, you know, Nick is hoping to actually get the things that they are looking for. But the Sorceress survives.
She does. It just got him ahead, and he's trying to play that pressure game. Instead, and it obviously plays for the most value. The biggest problem is no Bloodthirst means that this is still only doing 5 damage rather than the potential 7. The rest of his hand is a little awkward as well. Sov, you'd have to full leader. You're not playing first choice Harold. Way too early for Fukusha. And a 6-point Bran is tragic. So it's not a great spot.
No, it's not indeed. And meanwhile, OrderMaster is very happy committing these, you know?
Yeah. and I was about to say, he needs to be mindful here. If he plays slowly, the vitality will get away from him, and he will have to commit too much. Really smart pass there.
So, Nick is a card up. OrderMaster is at 5, and Nick is at 6.
That's right.
I'm wondering if OrderMaster will push a little, and therefore potentially lets Nick develop those Highland Warlords, or will instead go for a long round 3, where honestly OrderMaster is in a good spot, technically.
I mean, I think he wants to push, and I think he wants to play. Engine value here is going to put him far ahead. If he can get things like the Sov and other things out, it'll be better for him. The shortest of round 3s might not be. That could be problematic for this list.
Yeah.
But I would say I would be pushing in this spot. Most definitely I would be pushing in this spot.
And I think, you know, it's really interesting to see in community tournaments just how difficult pushing bleeding can be. Because it's one of the things that you need to master so well, and you need to train so much to get it right. Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things to do in Gwent. Knowing when to pass, when to push, and what order to play your cards in. I know that sounds like such a simple thing to say, but it really is the difference between 2,600 players and 2,400 players. Knowing how, like, often we'll cast high-end esports, and I'm looking and thinking, we can't be like you're playing here, and it's so risky. But they know the matchups, and they know just when to get out to get exactly what they need. As we see, a really smartly taken Purify here. The Dryad's Caress. They could have left it, but they knew that would take them to 5 points and be within range of the decent removal, the easy removal. Not something that you want to allow if you're OrderMaster, so sacked a point of vitality to try and protect this engine. Smartly done.
Yeah, indeed.
That's going to be Fukusha? Wow, okay.
Wow.
Fukusha
Big
probably
card.
for the other Warlord? Yes, okay.
Landlord.
Yes, indeed, yes. The High War Landlord, yes.
This is my commitment to Gwent, you know, renaming this card.
And we
I can't
respect it.
stop. Yeah. I have a red thing on my screen again, darling. Please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's difficult because I don't look at that screen and it just auto-selects, you know?
I know.
Yeah, long story, chat. But the feed goes through OBS for her, so anything that's highlighted is removing everything. Okay. Currently, red coin is being pushed, but is in a reasonable spot right now. Is going to be okay. Can commit slowly, and the War of Clans being at 5 now is great. This is a devotion deck, so it always gets the ability, but there is a 4p warrior in the graveyard as well, if you chose to use it. Primal Savagery loses 3 points of damage, but does get rid of one of those pesky symbiosis pings in the process. Probably trades about right. Seems like a reasonable take.
Yeah, it does. I'm thinking how much more in this round does OrderMaster want to go. I would consider Simlas if I was him, because that I just don't want to break it in round 3. But that's not what's happening. It's Call of the Forest, so and an early 8-ner.
That is signaling intent.
Wow.
Got to be clicking the Saskia here.
Yeah, I want to stay as well. Wow,
Not only am I staying, I'm pushing here.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you. Now, 7 damage here. Remember, stage 2 Ethne does not have symbiosis herself. So she is not a threat.
It's weird, but yeah.
But it makes sense. She spawns the 2 and she allows them to have it. Her rage draws it in and she's stronger for it, right?
Okay. Like that. I like that explanation. Kids, that's how you remember your Gwent cards, you know?
Yeah.
You need little stories to remember them.
Definitely.
But are we setting up more symbiosis before we play the Simlas? We could play one Pond Keeper and keep the other one as the target. Because otherwise you're quite... Or you do double nature rebuke, that is also an option, but you don't have the greatest targets for that.
Not really, no. Nick's just trying to hold off on what he has to give here. He's trying to give as little as possible, which makes sense. 2 more points of rain, but a locked greatsword. However, OrderMaster has his foot on the gas. He clearly has places to be today, and he wants a 3-0. Yeah. He's like, no, let's do this. Come on.
You know, and it could be the pressure of a partner watching, you know? You don't want to lose when your better half's watching.
I think it's honestly the right spot, though. When he chose to push, he needed to be committing to really pushing into this round. The reason being, of course, he's stronger in a long round and short rounds hurt. He doesn't want to be in the spot where he's in a short round. He wants to get as much value as possible and play for as much value as he can.
And the Elven Seer is a good bait for removal, because obviously Nick doesn't know that there's not another bronze nature card in hand.
Yeah.
But if OrderMaster had Darikaris, that would have been amazing with the Elven Seer, so that just had to be removed pretty quickly. My question here is OrderMaster playing these now, or leaving?
I think if he leaves, he loses, but he's aware that because these are playing for so many points. The symbiosis pings, the back row being full is not ideal for them, though.
No. But
this
it's
is still going to be a lot. 11 plus 5. This is worth 16 points right now.
Yeah.
And removes that. It's a lot of value.
Yeah.
30 points of gap. And very smartly here, has made a very difficult situation. There are only 3 spaces available.
Yeah.
You cannot
Yeah.
sove effectively, right?
Yeah, you cannot do full leader and self now, right?
No, you cannot.
Ah, that's really awkward. There we go. 1, 2.
And I think that's just hitting home that the
Oh,
board is
wait.
full. Is it enough? If you back row the Sove, it's enough by 1.
Is it?
I think it's enough by 1.
And we have no vitality at all.
And
So
it doesn't flip by. Whoa! Yikes! It is wow. It's
yikes.
top deck and wreck time.
Yeah, indeed. So what is left in those decks for our finalists?
Not much.
Uh-uh.
Not much at all. Everything had to go there, and it was really smart to fill the board up, not using the leader. If it's an empty board, you can't get that value. Ends up not being great. Oh, and he finds that, okay. Tia comes in clutch.
What's left in OrderMaster deck? What's
Nothing.
is Engrim bringing?
Engrim should bring Valve
that
will bring something,
elf.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, but this is a lot of points. Lot of points.
Yeah, I think this is, this is just it.
Yeah, and the Champion's Charge doesn't use the Champion's Charge. I thought that would be a very comfortable, let's just clean this up. It does 8 damage.
Well, if you want it to be the Sorceress, you need to play the Engrim now, or you set up the Naiad.
And I think he's having to go for that greedy line. I think he probably has to take this, even though the Valve is more points. Probably. It's not more points, definitely. He has to take the greedy line here. But Nick has got himself into the race here.
Wow.
Yes, he has.
So Nick makes it through with the first deck. That means OrderMaster needs to queue the Squirtle again.
Yep, OrderMaster has just got to get a win with this Squirtle deck. But it's the toughest one to do. He played that so well. He'd done everything right, and by just a solitary point, he ends up unable. Wow. This is a tough spot now for Nick. Because I think he wants to he's going to take the Nilfgaard list again. That you can see the score above Arya's head. Because that score is not correct. You can see what has been won.
So it's 2-1 for the Master.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is what it is. That's what's happening. We see obviously the Squirtle again. And this time against the Shook. Interesting.
Yeah. He's been kind of forced to take this on blue simply because he's aware the monster list doesn't have the tempo to win on blue. And he needs to be super aggressive with that, effectively. But this, the final is best of 5, not best of 3, which means you have to win with all of your decks.
Yes,
a little bit spicy, a little bit of a change.
Well, while we have these decks and we have these amazing players, why not see a little more of them?
I agree, and we do have an opening option this time. For Nick, he has the Rune Mage in hand, and what is he finding?
Not much.
Not a great deal. Not a great deal. The Vikavara Novice doesn't really help. This is terrible. Cultists, you're not cultists. Instead, has he got Vilgefortz in hand?
I can't see. You could have clicked. No, he doesn't
have okay.
Wow. Putting Simlas on the up on the top of the deck could have been super mean if we have Vilgefortz, right?
Yeah. But he also, on the plus side, he has information. He knows it's not there. He knows, as a result, it isn't a reach risk for him in this round, and that it's a guarantee to exist in the next round.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
As OrderMaster's frantically sweating right now, going, "Do not Vilgefortz out my best card!"
Ah! Do I need to play right now? He can't, though, so we gotta see Doom Cup come down as well. Oh, we could see there's could Radea bring Scroll and
It's a
then
lot.
bring Vilgefortz?
It could, but it's a lot of different things you're doing to make that happen. And it's a lot of points sacked on Radea. I don't know if it's worth it. If you were playing against elves, yes. If it was, because it's the whole game plan gone.
But if it was Waylay, yeah.
Yeah, if it was Elf Waylay, I think it might be a more feasible line. Not that it's not good now, but yeah.
Lunka Lunka.
Dunka has hit the board, and wait a minute, he does see Scroll. Oh
Yeah.
boy, and he clicks it straight away. It's gonna be Vilgefortz. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Goodbye, Simlas.
Oh no, an OrderMaster can't physically pass here. It's at 8 cards. Oh,
I'm looking at it. Yeah, there's nothing he can do, is it?
So if you're OrderMaster and this happens, your job now is to win this on even. That's what you're now doing. That's what you're saying. I am going to win this on even. He also could have... He doesn't know what was moved, right? That's the thing. We know, we saw, he didn't. So committing something so early when it could have been Ethne that was there, and it's a really awkward spot, right?
There we go. Yeah, but then equally, OrderMaster now knows.
Yes. Well, he knows now, yes.
Yeah. Now, and then you can play around it, because yes, he could have gone forward into Call of the Forest, into playing Simlas, but he didn't know which card it is that's on the top. So,
exactly.
It could have been something else, and OrderMaster would just blindly be committing a lot to potentially save Simlas. So I don't think it was worth it, and he didn't know. And now, yes, indeed, Simlas is milked and useless.
He is indeed. But if you're OrderMaster, winning this round is what matters now. Is he gonna double leader here?
Yeah, he's saying I need to be ahead. But
That's
he's
unfortunate because it doesn't get ahead. He needed one more leader charge there to get ahead. I think he was trying to protect it potentially. It's okay. He still wins the round. That's still valuable. And now he doesn't really have bricks, effectively. What he draws, he draws. Losing Simlas is a lot of value. It's a lot to lose. And when you're pushing into the perfect hand, it's a little bit different strategy-wise. This Square Tail list is going to struggle, and losing that Simlas could be game-defining. Yet another example why I would like to see Vilgefortz changed. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. That is not the place and time right now, but I understand your passion about Vilgefortz and its removal or change. But yeah, let's see. So OrderMaster could also decide to just go all the way in now, right?
Yeah, he could. Could decide to really pressure here. Well, he didn't win the round, right? So he can't go all the way in. It's
True.
So it's going to be... He's got the perfect hand to resist. Right, that's the situation.
No, wait.
He is
OrderMaster won.
So...
What are you thinking, Nick?
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, OrderMaster won. Not seeing their names during this is confusing for my brain. But yes, OrderMaster won the first round. He will have wanted to be able to push for a 2-0 here, right?
Yeah. But equally, it's a little more difficult being cut down and not having your big car right Simlas.
Yeah. And it's difficult because even with things like the immune Ethne in round 3, your opponent's running Shoop. And they've Rune Mage, so they're guaranteed to find Shoop Steel there. You know, it's really difficult.
Is that Falware going?
Yeah.
Falware coming down, bringing in Zengrin. So I feel like OrderMaster A trying to thin as much as possible so that they know what they're drawing next, but also just going, you know what? Sorceresses worked for me last time. Let's go.
Yeah, quite an aggressive line to take here. And remember, it's Slave 5, not 6, so the Sorceress of Dol B'Thana is safe here. She is not at risk. She's not about to get yeeted out of existence. You know, she's okay.
Is she?
So, yes, but I wasn't expecting the damage for half of it, if I'm being honest. Because it doesn't remove it. With nothing on the board, wasn't expecting that choice.
Yeah. But okay, so we have no boost other than the leader. And that just kind of keeps it in a really awkward value for OrderMaster, right?
It does. You almost have to play the next one and try and chain them together at this stage.
Yeah,
But
you could do that.
Yeah, for OrderMaster here, he's already got a pretty great trade. He got both of those.
You could also decide to leave here and go for a long round, potentially, but
it's a horrible long round, though.
It is, yeah.
It's not a great spot already, if we're being honest. It's quite a cursed matchup. Nick could use that leader ability here and then Boo Hurt to buff it back up himself.
True.
It's an option that is available to him. Could be worth a lot of points in that situation. It's a possibility.
This feels like a very, Spider-Man moment when they're just kind of like waiting on each other, being like, "Do you have this? I have this." Ah.
Yeah, and it's always that little bit of kind of they're stood there. What do you have? What can you do? Can you answer what I'm doing or not? Situation, right?
Indeed, yeah.
I expect to see the engine rebuked pretty quickly. You don't want to leave Vigo to climb, even in a non. You get the death blow. It's not worth the risk because a turn from now, he's going to be at 6. Slave driver into Nolziger Sergeant to create another Nolziger Sergeant, which will create another. Doesn't choose to do it, though.
Keeps
a little surprised.
Me too, because the turn from now, like you said, it's not gonna be 5.
Yeah.
Most likely, it's gonna be really difficult to remove then.
I'm a little surprised to see that, but
yeah. We're building more symbiosis value. That also makes sense, but it's just okay. And Vigo is still there, still at 4. So are we gonna get rid of him now, or are we gonna use the Pond Keeper? Because that is an option now.
Another Pond Keeper, yeah.
You don't have to waste the rebuke anymore because we have a 4.3 out now.
Yeah, that's another option that you could well take that line.
But it's definitely making me a little nervous that the Vigo is still there,
Yeah, that's just chilling. It's a bit for Nick. It's difficult because he needs to set up. He had to get a Boo Hurt into the graveyard so that the Ciri could potentially be played in time to jump back. Because otherwise she's in trouble. But Milton is there to fix that up. We do see the damage now on the Naiad Pond Keeper and does remove that engine, just getting himself ahead as well. Obviously, it's redundant in the situation he's in. He would like a much bigger gap than this, but either way.
Okay, Ciri is here. Can you hover over the locking Dryad, please, if she locks a unit or an enemy?
She locks a unit. Well spotted. Because Marine should be locking that. Now, you've got that again, sort of pistols at dawn moment. Do you lock an engine that's going to grow for you for a few turns, thinking your opponent might greed it, because your opponent could equally Milton and buff it by 3 and steal it straight back? Will they have seen those lines? That's going to be the question.
Or OrderMaster might not realize that that's what Morin does. Even because that's such a small detail to miss, and usually you target your enemies, not your unit.
Exactly, and we see instead the Mushy Truffle coming down. Yeah. It's a great shout as an option because relying on that, finding ways to stop her moving, being able to self-lock is not that common. But Maren can lock a unit.
But we'll see if that makes it through. Big steal, yeah. That could be the nature rebuke target right now.
Yeah, I think it probably is. But you don't want to rebuke right now. You want to lock.
If you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because I think I would lock before the nature rebuke. Because there's not an asymmetric. No, we pass. I was wrong.
Yeah, and that's a choice. That's an interesting decision because it's now. I think I'd have gone deeper into that. I think I would have been willing to play both of those. To go for the shorter round. You got a lot of high value stuff out of your opponent, except Shoop. I really hope that they realise that Shoop can just one-shot and steal the Ethne, immune or not. The leader going is a massive thing, but again, it's another tough matchup. This Scoia'tael list is really struggling here.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, what is there left for Call of the Forest? Okay,
They're
still
showing
something.
you straight away.
Thank you.
There's one unit.
Okay.
One unit here. As we see, that lock does come down now.
Now it does, yeah. And we see the Nausicaas makes sense. That's a simple choice, you know.
Yeah.
The usual one that you would do as a Nilfgaard player. How can we avoid Yoink from Shoop?
It's a randomized steal, so you can't avoid it, but obviously having multiple units on the board before you do it certainly helps. You can trigger Symbiosis 3 times, so you're probably playing the Dryad Enchantress first, then you're playing Ethne,
Yeah.
then you're... yeah, it's difficult. You could drop this fledgling first, actually, to have more and more units, but because you go so tall, it's... yeah. There's
Could
a
be,
lot.
yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, but Nick doesn't have much aside from Shoop.
No, the Shoop is the biggest thing there, albeit Milton is a lot of points still, potentially. You've also got removal, and honestly, the Slave Driver's playing at 10 all on its own, so... He's in a pretty great spot, but it's by no means all done yet. And those trees make Shoop steal more awkward. I think he'll take Shoop triple damage.
Nature Rebuke is also nice because it has the death blow on the tree, so that's always the extra points.
Yeah.
Call is bringing the other Naiad. Makes sense. Okay, let's see. So I think it's the Naiad now.
Yeah, Naiad now makes sense. You're going to get the most value out of it, and you're just going to take the Rebuke at the end, or the 6 plus Spawn, right?
Yeah. Makes
That
sense.
fits. I agree. Makes a lot of sense to me.
How is it looking points-wise? Because Shoop is also quite a lot of points on its own.
And I think Shoop is sufficient to win this, just. Because you're just going to take Shoop for just Shoop damage, right?
Yeah. So we're now seeing Rebuke on the 4.
Yeah.
And then click the Naiad, possibly.
Oh, yeah, I would say so. It's the most points. He's up by 4. I think it's going to be another... It's closer than I thought it would be, but I think the 6 points here plus the Shoop should just do it. Is it by 1? I think
tell.
he wins by 1.
I genuinely have no clue. Because the math in Shoop
He wins
is
by.
difficult.
I think he wins by. Yeah, Shoop math is difficult, but if he goes Shoop damage, then I think he wins by a couple, 2 or 3. Shoop Hunter here.
Okay.
And he wins by 3. Yeah. Okay. We're going to a final
Oh my
game.
god. 2-2.
Here we go. Final
Let's
game.
go in.
OrderMaster is trying for the 3rd and final time to get this through. 3rd and final attempt here.
Let's go.
Can he do it?
An amazing suggestion from the chat. You can put it in your CV as well. We will be
true.
the reference.
That's add me as a reference to your CV. It's no problem. We're both
Let's
willing to
go.
take that. Interesting animation here. I don't know if you're noticing this. Look, the monster card.
It eats it up.
It's actually consuming it because Tatterwing's in the deck, and I've never seen that before. But that's only happening in this deck, which is interesting. Curious. Not just mulliganing it away. It's like it's being destroyed, which is.
It's the same like eating, like Death Wish. Yeah, not Death Wish. Consume.
Yeah, it's the same animation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dunkalunka. It has to be it. Come on.
Wait, so Dunka isn't in hand.
Is she? No, sorry. Okay, that's the other Dryad that has the very similar pose with a bow.
It does. Now, this is an awkward hand here, really, for OrderMaster, because he either has to just play the Sorceress, so he's had to play a Naiad Pondkeeper just out, which doesn't feel great for him at all. But not amazing for Nick either. He's just using bombs and getting Maddock onto the wrong row. Shocking no one.
Nah.
Now,
You know, Nick has used all the Maddock luck earlier. There's no more.
No,
No more
that's
left.
true. But when do you Marine? I think you want to use it in the decisive round. But there's always a risk that there are no bombs left by the time you get there, right? And I don't hate this.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
hate
no
that.
purify unless you purify your own Maddock.
Which, the consume, however, is exactly why this is actually overwhelming hunger. So it didn't quite use the impact that you thought it would, but it actually ends up being good points the other way. The Maddock is back, out and survives, and looking pretty powerful.
But you could keep hitting Maddock here as OrderMaster. You know, it's an option.
It is. Got to
You
protect
wanted to
that.
protect that, yeah. Still probably gonna die, but protect it if you can.
Now, this is actually quite smart, because you know there isn't a bomb that can destroy this because Maddock is on the wrong row. As a result, it lives, gets boosted, and gets its maximum value if it's targeted.
Yep, it's not worth the heat wave, so it's all good.
Probably not.
Yep.
Maybe, but probably not.
No, I think there are better things that are worth the heat wave here. It's either like a big hammer dryad or something like that later on. Right?
I would say so, yeah. I think you're right. Naglfar's crew here is good value. Clicking
Naglfar's
Maddock and
not
then
in-
playing another bomb is also a choice.
Yep. Either is fine, I think. And we
Thanks
see
to
the
Naglfar.
crew. Yeah.
Getting that engine set up early, I can see the logic. Forcing your opponent again to play that way to give the buff effectively.
Yeah. But that's a simple thing for OrderMaster. Use the stratagem, and then I would possibly be playing the Naiad maybe as well. I would first play the Naiad before I click it.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Orb could end up being very useful in
Yeah.
this matchup. Those extra few points of effective carryover can
It's nice.
really be the difference if you can keep track of them.
I think
But-
it's the orb here, yeah.
Circle of Life
Well-
kills the Maddock or the engine. Takes the orb though.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
And of course, put it front row, because the second you click Maddock, the Dryad on the back row dies. That makes sense.
He knows he hasn't played a card yet, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So many choices, so many clicks across with Symbiosis that you just always
Yeah,
there
yeah,
going,
What do I do? You know, do I need to?
Yeah. Lots
Okay.
happening.
And not the best choices pre Sunset Wanderers for Nick. You know.
No.
So you
really
just have
not.
to play things that you don't really want to. Maddock's just being like, look, I did a good job in one game. Come on.
Yeah. Help me
Stop
out.
being weird about this.
Yeah, help me out. And you can play this reasonably slowly now if you're
Yeah.
OrderMaster, because you can just play the other units out, try and stay on one row. This is a shame because you want this ranged row really, rather than giving armor.
Weird, yeah.
Just a tempering is pretty decent. It's playing for 5+1. You're not too fussed. Or you could use the Rebuke, get the Death Blow on either of these. You don't want to kill the Maddock when it's on the wrong row. But
No.
hitting this for 4, 5, 6, 7 is fine.
That's what happens, yeah. Gives the tree to the wrong row, but I think it's kind of cancels out with, you know, trees going to wrong rows, Maddock going to wrong row. It's always gonna happen in one way or the other.
Yeah, it's an inevitability. The downside is, of course, now you can't kill this engine, which does feel a lot worse, and could be the spot where OrderMaster, looking at his hand, says, I shouldn't be here, but no, continues go. This is going to be close. Because if Nick's willing to give Sunset Wanderers here, he could put himself in a really strong spot.
We'll see. Yeah, that's another bomb, and Maddock this time really, again, in the wrong row. It's not getting that much value for Nick, but it's what it is. And meanwhile, Order can pass to get a tie, which is not what he wants.
He can, but this Dryad's Caress is still worth maximum value. He can purify this. Again, the Madoc is on the wrong row. This is going to be a tough one. Because a pass here is optional, right? I think I'd probably take it, but...
No. And we haven't played Ogwen. So that makes it a little awkward to play those Naiads.
True.
And the Orb is coming back. A little extra points for OrderMaster makes sense.
Does.
And, okay.
And here comes the Wanderer.
Down. So Wanderer is down. That is actually good for OrderMaster, because now he doesn't have to think about it anymore.
Ooh. So, I mean, OrderMaster has to play now, but he's not in the best spot.
Yeah.
He can just play the Fledgling, drop it onto the back row, and then give this, but you never want to give this Ethne, so he's really going to have to, you know, if he loses here, Nick is in a spot for a 2-0 right now with this hand. Like, a good spot. Vivian is going to play for 13 points here.
So much. So many points for Nick here. Right?
Yeah, being able to get value out of that is really, really nice for him here. And he will be very happy. All he's got to do is make sure he plays it to the correct side. And he is laughing.
That can be tough, but yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there, all right? We've all been there, you know?
I'll just play it. Oh. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
And he's making a decision right now. He's trying to think, which way do I go with this? I would have just given the Vivian, I'm being honest. It's worth less later. It's only worth 11 next to Tatterwing. It basically guarantees you win this on even, but he takes the Heat Wave.
Wow.
Is this enough? This is 4, 5, 6. The Dryad's Caress is just enough to force another card.
Oh my god.
Just.
Let's go. Yes. So yeah, we get the 2 Vitality ticks, so that's fine. I would not click it if I was OrderMaster, but you can if you want to.
I don't. Oh, this is tough. Because Nick should never give Tatterwing to win the round.
Yeah.
He has clicked.
Okay, are we gonna see the Vivian then? Yes.
There Makes she sense.
Is 8 enough now?
She's 8 points, so you could play her plus a leader charge, and you know what? I think I would.
Well, knowing what's in hand, you would, but not knowing.
No, not knowing big. I would either way, because I think if I get the Tatterwing, I'm happy, and but if you get a random bronze card, of course you're super sad, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I think the only way OrderMaster can win this is to get Simlas here.
He's drawn remarkably well, though.
Okay, that's also good. Oh my god, but look at Nick. Look at his hand.
It's awkward for him. How does is he going to start with Tatterwing again, knowing this time it can't be punished? Because he could easily just Tatterwing and pass, right?
Okay.
As well. Okay, that poison's not great for him, but...
But with the, exactly that, yeah. Sheesh. Oh, we got rid of the Ogwen.
No, Ogwen's here.
Oh, no. Okay, it looked... I think I had a visual bug for a second.
Oh, okay. The Tatterwing is down and the Igni is not real this time.
But we have... You know, we have points as Symbiosis. If we go... Eightnet, Ogwen, Hammer, Simlas, Hammer, it's a lot of points.
Yeah. It is, but for Nick here, he could very easily just go, okay, bye.
Bye, yeah, but he doesn't.
No, he's playing here. Ooh, I think getting the extra card might have been his saving grace. But the Devil's Puffball to kill this and poison both is immaculate for him.
Oh,
especially with Simlas actually jumping to the right row. Simlas,
wow, and Madoc, yeah. Okay. Still imagine, okay, I would be clicking the tome to get call. And just playing more, I think.
Yeah, I think that for me, I'd be probably clicking this to get a Dryad's Caress and purify the tallest unit.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. That
And
would be
leader charging this as well. That's what I would be doing. Because he chose to pick the puffball, which tells me he definitely has the poison.
Yeah, true. Now we're seeing the call.
Maybe into
Which
Falva?
would be 12.
He's trying to get more points. I think he's
Yeah.
trying to get ahead. Which I can
Trying to
understand.
get as many points as possible here, and it is... No! You were so close, OrderMaster!
He is ahead now, but I would have gone the other way around with it. I would have, if he's going for the Purify, I'd have taken the Purify here. There's no reason to have picked Puffball when so many other things exist. So it's not a huge poison at the end of the day. It's a 6-point card. It's not a Symbiosis Engine. So it isn't like the world just ended on the back of that.
No.
He could have prevented it.
We see the Maddock, and we could see another click as well.
I think I would, yeah. Purify Bomb here could be huge, getting rid of all of the vitality as well.
Yes, indeed. And then we're gonna see the Simlas, I think. That's the only way to get points.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, I don't know. I'd be tempted to Alquin. Oh, yeah, I suppose, because you want the carryover. Yeah. Okay, this is so tense.
It is very tense, yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
that's actually great.
that's really strong.
That's really good. And you can, okay.
And you don't, if you
What's
lead a
left
charge
in the
here,
deck?
you don't have to click the Arcane Tome. The only thing left is Isengrim's Council.
Which is great too, by the way. Just saying.
It's fantastic, yeah. And it also thins your deck of other cards.
Yeah.
You see the leader charge instead, takes himself ahead.
Okay. The bomb's not doing much with a huge damage here, which is good. It could be really awkward with the elf placement though.
I think honestly, you have to play everything here anyway, right? Because this is, and you probably lead a charge the Cobra as well, if I'm being honest, because it's just worth it.
Let's see if the sorceress gets hit. It does.
She does get the hit though, and it's a really smart push.
No, OrderMaster gets through. It was a great push, yes. But now, so Nick has the more wound left.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Let's see.
Can he draw it though? He sees 5 of 8. That's some good top. Oh, these top decks.
Oh my god, that's it. What is this? I would almost get rid of Dunka, but
There's
it's
the Osrill, but it's not. The Osrill is disappointing. Everything's low. Oh! He's missed the Morwood!
Forever. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so we kept the Dunka, so Dunka's gonna go and die, I feel like. That's her suicidal mission right here. You know? Ooh, so, let's see.
Wow.
We don't seem to have a good target for Geralt right now. Ozzy on Tatooine, how does that work?
So Tatooine boosts itself.
Goes back to 1.
Tatooine's a 1, there's nothing in the deck of value. So, it's literally a 6-point Osrill at absolute max.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Tatooine boosts itself to 25 points at the start of the game. It does not set its base power.
And now we get the maximum points from her as well. And then keeping Saskia makes sense, playing her last once Dunka is down as well. And we can get the value on the Dunka damage. Is this decided?
This is done and dusted unless...
I think it is. It's just it.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. I don't think there's a way around it without excessively boosting the wrong card by mistake.
Which can happen, let's be honest. That can definitely happen. I don't think it will.
Oh, but it's not going to. As we're going to see OrderMaster manages to finally get this through.
After many times of being in the community tournaments, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. We're gonna see if Nick plays it out. They indeed do. I just know enough. Congratulations to OrderMaster. Very well played by both of them.
Yes.
Wow.